Back by unpopular demand. Me. Welcome back to Liam Doesn't Know Ball. My name's Liam Richards. I'm an American who objectively doesn't know ball, but that does not stop me from having opinions. I'm here to predict Premier League Game Week 24. Let's get into it. Everton. Oh, Everton. I want you to stay up. But this week, you're not getting any points towards your campaign. I don't know what else to say. I think Man City's going to have at least 75% possession. I'm not going to predict the goal scorers. They could be anyone for Man City. What I will predict is that I think that after seeing what Neil Maupay did to Kyle Walker, I could see maybe an Everton player thinking, "Oh, I'll take a jab at his personal life, try and get a reaction out of him." I mean, it won't work because Kyle Walker, great player. He's not going to be impacted by some words. But I think they'll try. Sorry, Everton. Best of luck. I originally called this as a Desmond, and I could still very easily see it being one. I just have this feeling in my gut that Willian's going to show up. He occasionally shows up and just runs the show. Against Bournemouth without Philip Billing, I could see that happening. Bournemouth have been on a spectacular run of form lately, and I just think that this might be an off day for them. That's okay. They're allowed. I think that they've, after a really slow start and a very great run of recent form, they've kind of settled out with where they should be about mid table. And hey, the project they've got going on there is great. This will only be, I don't even know, like a little stumble, not even. Another game where I can just cover my eyes in that's all I can do. This game is at Anfield. Liverpool just got spanked in North London. Burnley players, they're professionals, they're competitive, but they've gotta start losing faith at some point. How do you keep motivation for a group that is basically already down? Oh man, I just feel so bad for them. They don't deserve this. Oh god. I just think Liverpool are gonna go nuts. That's okay. I'm gonna be done rambling. I don't know who the Liverpool goal scorers are gonna be. Again, like Man City, there it could be anyone because I think any of them are capable of scoring, especially against an opponent that they're so much better than. And even the ownership, even the Burnley ownership knows this. J.J. Watt, former NFL defender, went to my alma mater, University of Wisconsin. He's a co-owner, and one of his friends offered to run a mile for every goal Burnley scored last week. I'm not going to take his idea, but you know what? For every goal Burnley scored this week, I will eat one lemon whole. I'm talking peel, pith, everything, just not the little stem part, just not the parts that aren't digestible. But yeah, for every goal that Burnley score, I'll eat a lemon. How's that sound? Luton have been scoring a lot of goals lately. Sheffield United have not been scoring a lot of goals lately. I think that Kenilworth Road is going to be absolutely bouncing, so backing their team to get the 3 points and pull themselves further away from the relegation zone and maybe see a second year in the Premier League. Just wow, nuts. What a story. Yeah, I actually don't think table position does justice to just how different of mentalities and trajectories and spirit there are at these clubs. Luton have just been digging in, fighting, getting results, scoring a lot of goals lately. And Sheffield United had their fans walking out at 20 minutes. You can't blame them, but man, that just goes to show how bad they've been this season. don't get me wrong, I think that Luton will still concede a goal, especially with Brereton Diaz coming in. He's been pretty darn good since he's gotten into the side. So I could see Sheffield United getting a consolation goal, but there's not going to be a lot of fight from them. Sorry, Sheffield. Both of these teams have tapered off from their red hot start to the season and settled, I think, around where people thought they would be at the beginning of the season. Brighton top half while doing very well in Europe. Tottenham making that Europa League slash Champions League push due to no European commitments. I think that maybe people may have had them maybe sixth or seventh, but just because of how big of an overhaul they had this summer, changing managers, losing Harry Kane. So they are doing incredibly well. I'm only giving them the advantage because it's at home. Both of these teams love to hog the ball. So I think this will be probably an entertaining match. It will either be very entertaining or very boring. I'm going to go with goals for Madison and Johnson for Tottenham and a recently healthy Ansu Fati goal for Brighton. Molyneux is a tough place to go. I've been saying that for a while now. It does not get the respect it deserves for just how tough of a ground this is to go and get a result this season, especially. It's possible, but man, the Wolves team has impressed me. I had them going down in 18th place and only had them in that position because I was like, oh, well, they have enough Premier League experience to at least be the third worst bad as opposed to second or most worst. Yeah, they seem to have a lot of spirit. They seem to be playing for the name on the front of the jersey, not the back. And yeah, they work well together. They play well together. I'm shocked. I think it'll be a brace for Neto, and Ivan Toney will score probably a penalty. I don't know. I just feel it. And Tony's goal will continue the debate about whether he deserves to be on the plane to the Euros more than Ollie Watkins. Newcastle have scored a lot of goals lately. They've also conceded a lot of goals lately. They've scored 7 in their last two. They've conceded 5 in their last two. I think they have more than enough to get past Nottingham Forest. Yes, the City Ground is another one of those stadiums that is not easy to go, but I'm sorry, Nottingham Forest, I just don't think they have enough to get past this Newcastle team. I really wish I had more to say about this match. I want to back West Ham to at least get a result, if not the win, because they are at home and they're having a weirdly underrated season. I think they're seventh now, and were very recently sixth. No one was really talking about them, which, okay, fine, but I think that considering they're in the Europa League and they're in the European positions when last season they were in a lower level of Europe and were in a relegation scrap until like April, definitely March, if not April. And I just think that that's going a little bit underrated due to these concerns with Moyes. And I get it, he does some weird tactical things, but you're doing okay. I'm sorry I can't back you to get the win or even a draw. I just see Saka getting an early goal, Bowen netting in the late first half, early second to give West Ham some hope. And they're going to hold on to that hope until probably pretty late in the game. I'm going to go 82nd minute late, make it 82nd minute or later with a William Saliba set piece header. The amount of flip-flopping I did on the score of this game. I initially had a 3-2 Villa win. Then I heard that Konsa was out, so I went with a 2-all draw. Then I saw how Villa played against Chelsea and considered Manchester United's recent form and went to a 1-2 Manchester United win. Then Torres and Digne are back. and went with a 2-all draw again. That is my final prediction. That is what I'm locking in. But, oh, Manchester United are just my least favorite team to, well, they're one of my least favorite teams to predict. There's another one. And I don't know, is how they've been playing in the last two games against Newport County and West Ham. Are those, these blips that we see where like, oh, they're really starting to do something. Is this another false dawn? Are they gonna go on a run and push for Champions League? I do not know. I can't figure them out. Villa Villa are kind of difficult to predict right now as well. They've been, I think, coming a little bit back down to earth since beating Arsenal and Manchester City, but I just think that having Torres back to launch the attack and be a very calm presence on the ball while Villa's in possession will be just enough to see them at least get the result, get a result. My other least favorite team to predict, Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. In 1 week, they have gotten crushed 4-2 at home by Wolves. They went to Aston Villa and looked incredible. Now they're going to go to Crystal Palace and I think win, but they won't make it easy for themselves. Someone will probably bungle it in. I'm not even going to predict a name. It could be anyone. I just don't think Cole Palmer or Thiago Silva have it in to bungle it in. So, yeah, won't be pretty, but Chelsea will get the win. Probably before losing another three in a row.